And welcome back to another class. So this is going to be another action pose position. Now, I've been getting away from the hardcore teaching, and I apologize. So I'm going to start getting back into the hardcore teaching. So I took the liberty of drawing this off camera just to save some time. So this is the position that we're going to use, and I'm going to show you slowly how to do this position. And another thing I thought about the other day is this is my drawing figure. If you've been with the channel, you've seen that. Except for one thing, I decided to outline the muscles on this thing so that I can use this as a reference to help you guys draw your muscles. So whatever position we get into, I'm going to show you with the dummy, and that will help you get into doing your muscles, because there are some people that really just, I got to do my muscles. I got to do, before you get your form right. Get your form first, then add muscles. But, for those people who just can't wait, I'm going to start using this more on a daily basis or on a video basis to show you guys, your ins and outs of muscle twists and so forth. And this is like the closest you can get to it, other than, muscles do flex, when you tense, like, if I do a bicep thing, the bicep would get bigger, and, it would twist more, but this doesn't. But this is the closest I have seen to realistic muscles that actually move. So yeah, so we're going to get into this. So for right now, let's work on this drawing here. Let me get my little piece of paper, and I'll probably turn the other one into somebody or something, because I'm not really going to care about it, but I want to get some card stock. Card stock meaning thicker paper. I always do. You have this and you have that. It's just thicker paper, and if you do a drawing that you want to keep, then I'll put it on card stock. This is plain copy paper that I will just do my roughs and examples on. So, and I've got a new light overhead, so hopefully that'll make things better. But I think it focuses and unfocuses, it jumps a little bit, but we'll see in the final editing process. So, and I know anytime I change papers, it's going to do that. So okay, let me put this here, because I want to go over this slowly with you guys and then show you as a good teacher would show you. All right, so here's our position. He could be flying, he could be running, he could be doing whatever else. But I was just thinking about a position. For some reason, I thought about this with the arm in front, and then, almost like he's going to hit somebody with his shoulder. And of course, you have to have the other hand cocked back there. You don't have to, but, and then since he's running or flying or whatever, you're going to have that lean toward that. So whatever position you have or you think about, you're going to have to think about, the body. Don't start out with detail. Always get your rough and get your position out. Let's just say, if I want this guy, whatever, doing a backflip, in your mind, that your backflip is going to be like this. You're going to get that curve first, that front curve, then you get that back curve. So then I'll get my shoulder here, then I'll do my torso, and it depends on if this is a side view, or like a profile, or, 3/4 view. But then I get my profile, and you're going to have the room for your tuna can, or that space for your stomach. Then I'll get my, whatever you call it, your hips. This is your waist, this is your hips, I believe. So, they have to go on that arch, right? And then, since this one is going to go this way, let's just say if these are boxes. Where's a pen? You can see this in the red. It's better, so I don't have to undo it. And so this is going to go back this way. So, and this is your rough sketch. This is your rough in your head. I'm going to get my position. And then you say, okay, these legs. This part of the leg is it's straight. You have your knee, and this part of the leg is straight too, but you want to still stay with that curve. And then you want to do, let's just say my head is going to be here. Let's say he's going to be looking down at the ground, and your shoulders going to be right here. Maybe this hand is not completely bent. And if I want to do a 3/4, then I'll take that box, but I will use a oval and then put my center line in it like that. That's just me, and it's just easier. But for this example, and you can put the other hand here, And then you can put your other leg here. But the whole thing is your torso is the most important part of what's happening, because I can erase the head, never put a head there, and it really doesn't matter. So a lot of people want to draw the head first. The head should always be last. And then there's the hands, and then there's the foot, and there's the other foot. And then, as I say, you can, if you did the oval, then you could do your little center line for the 3/4. Kind of like this, because this is going to be the crotch here. So there's my center line here coming up. Here's my abs, and I'm drawing upside down. That's amazing. And then my lats. Yeah, I'm gonna have to turn this upside down in a minute. My chest, however the chest is. I'm not an upside down drawer, so center for the chest here, and it's gonna come up there. So you get the idea. You have to get it in your head first. What position you want to take. Follow the body curves. I mean, you probably won't draw something if you don't know what it looks like. Either if you don't know what it looks like, you'll probably get reference to see what it looks like. But follow that curve, knowing that your shoulders are not always going to be straight across. It's gonna tip or dip, depending on the motion. And this part here, which is like this, is going to do the same thing. And remember, if you twist one part in, the other is going to suck into the other part, which is going to take this one out. So this is going to be close. If this is just a straight up and down, this is going to be close. This is going to be far apart. You know, unless you put more curve into it, like he's jumping, then you do this, or really doing a hard twist like that, and that'll actually be touching. And then you have to go with however the legs would be. But you want to follow that motion, because that's your action. And I see that first whenever I draw that motion of which way I'm going. And then I can put my center line in, and we'll just go from there. All right, so let's get into drawing this picture. Now, this one might be a little different, because I just started out this morning doing this one. So this was a stiff picture. And whenever I do stiff pictures, it's not as fluent. It doesn't flow. You might notice that I use red and blue. I started out with my blue and I did my overall, and then when I started getting to the detail, I put my red in there, and neither one of them will photocopy. So if you ink this and then you don't want to erase, you can photocopy it black and white. You can't photocopy it on color, and these extra lines won't come out. So, all right. So as I say, first thing I do, let me use my blue because it's lighter. And that's just a me thing, because I just got the blue pencil, because I have blue leaded pencil with the thin lead, and I don't want to use it because it's expensive, and I think these was a case of 12 for like $8 or less. So okay, so I want to get my line, and I'll maybe try to curve this guy a little bit more. Get my curve line, then I'll go for my torso. You got to put my torso in the center of the paper, because if his arms are out, you don't want your torso over here. Are you going to do this all day? Or over here? I just have to keep an eye on the monitor. As I say, I have an overhead light, professional light now. My son bought that for me for Christmas. So it gives me great light, but it affects the camera a little bit. We'll see. So as I say, torso, which is not round. It may look round to you, but it's not round because I have so many lines. It's going to be oval shape. Then I will. How did I have that? I have this guy in. He's going in and twist like that, because the shoulder is going to come over here. Then I had dip the shoulder. I'm going too fast, so I'm going to slow down. Oval, center line, kind of like a little narrow S. Dip the shoulder. And this is the collarbone, so you want to have some shoulder left over. So you always, if you're drawing, it's going to mess up again because it doesn't like me switching papers. Oval, collarbone is going to go, and I said I was going to use this guy. Collarbone is going to go down here. So if I did this oval here, this is my collarbone right here. So you see this, what's left over? All the shoulder is left over. So that's why whenever you draw this, and of course got to get the mountain, your collarbone is right there, and you have your shoulder left over, which is you already have it. This point right here is going to be a V, and it's your neck. It's going to come up right there. So you already have your shoulder. Now you can make your shoulders bigger if you want to, or wider or whatever. But you always do that. And I forgot where I was going with this. I guess your shoulders. So if I want to lean him down or turn him, then the shoulders turn into a V. I always say that. If you're leaning a character down, if your character's straight up, your shoulder blades are going to come straight across. If you lean the character down, your shoulder blades are going to take on the form of a V, because all this is round. All this is round. If I did a ball and I painted a stripe across a ball, or the ball had a stripe, if I put that straight at you as your vision, you'll see this. It'll be straight across. You wouldn't know the ball was round. Well, a ball is round, but you know what I'm saying. So the minute I roll this ball over a little bit, this line will go like this. Same thing with the collarbone. So using our example again, it's straight at you. And then if I start to tip it over, you see how it takes on that V? So that's how you know if your character, if you want to draw your character leaning, put that V on that collarbone. Now, let's get back. I don't want too many examples because I don't want this to go in hours and hours and hours. So I tilted the shoulder, give him a little bit of a V, go with that mountain right here, and then come up. That's the beetle when you do this. That way you know where the chest turns at. So we have this. Now from there, I go with that back shoulder or that back delt. I need to start telling you guys what the parts are. And it comes right off of that. My example again, anytime you do your collarbone, it comes right off of your shoulders, right off of your torso, and then you hang it like this. One ball here, the other ball there. We use the ball for the torso though. If I start naming too many names, I'll screw up all the time. So basically you're doing this. A ball there, it's kind of like a weight, if it's a balance for a weight balance kind of thing. So you just put your torso in between. Don't have this coming inside of the torso, always on the outside. It can be touching the edge, unless you're doing a 3/4 view. 3/4, this is straight, this is 3/4 turning. Then you have your collarbone. This one goes behind here like this, and this one is going to actually go inside of that. Using red, I don't know how I'm going to use the red, but as I say, use your collarbone right here and here. This side is going to go, and remember, it hangs off of the bone right here. It's not above it. It's not above it. It's right below it, like a fishing rod and a weight or something. This one is going to go into here, and then your chest goes up like that. So doing this, if I can continue to do this and not get off example too much, not get off of the subject. Here, remember that's going to go into that. So once you get this, you're pretty good body-wise, because your arms are just 2 cylinders, your legs are just 2 cylinders, and it's just how you want to put it. So you get that little twist in the stomach. So do my tuna can, and that depends on how much, or you can do the circle, half circle. It depends on if it's easier for you or not. I don't want to make this too stiff, and then you do your house. Remember, the point is going to be right here, leaving your man junk, leaving room, space, because your legs do not rub together. Now, this is going really slow, so it's going to probably be stiff again. So we have this. Once you have your torso done, you're good to go. So this is going to come down and follow this line here, all the way down. Follow that line. It gives you a little more twist in the abs. So remember, this is round. So when your abs come around, just like this line, this first line comes around, the second one's going to come around. It depends on how many abs you want on your character. So it's going to come around, following that round line, and then you can actually come down and then curve it in and out. Like that, and you have fairly good abs. Now, usually your first set, where your ribs come up like this, is where your first set is going to be. But I've seen artists just do an extra set, and then you do a little piece up here, a little bone up here, and it looks good in some cases, but you do your own. So when you have this, right below that is going to be your love handles, your obliques right here, and what's left over here as well. Those are your obliques. So right here, if I can see, it might look better in editing. Right here, your obliques, your comes around your lats. So your I told you when I tried to start naming this stuff, this comes around like this. Your oval comes around, and then where it touches, your obliques are going to be right here, and this is basically your love handle, and it's going to hit your hips, and it's going to come down, and then your serratus. I think these are your serratus muscles. This is the part of the ribs. Then you have your that thing. I'll get it in a second. Your lats. Yeah. So okay, here we go. You want to have that sticking out too much. We got that coming up. So I'm going to put the head here. Just put the head floating somewhere. We can adjust that later. We can adjust that later. Because what's left is you're going to have that V. You're going to have this little dip right here in your collarbone. Goes up. And then you're going to have neck muscles. Two muscles that come straight up there. To basically, I usually stop at the top of the shoulder, depending on the angle. And then I'll put the chin and the head. But we're just going to have that floating for now. So we have this. Then we're going to have this one leg curve around. So we're going to have this here. We're just going to bring it in at this angle. Just a cylinder, not too long, because it's going to go back. It's really going to go back in perspective. So you want to come down and around. Have your knee here. And then you want to continue to come around. So I'm just going to do this little piece here. Curving it. No, I'm not. I'm going to draw it. So you have your knee. Do your knee kind of like a long diamond, shall we say? Like this. Now on the inside, this comes down. This muscle comes down, and it goes over that, and it comes in, and it's basically your shin bone, like that. So this little piece comes around and it curves in, and you can get that little curve, and then you have this part of your calf that comes in and around, and this kind of stops at your ankle. So you kind of get this little flow that is going around, but this is going straight down instead of being foreshortened, and I'll foreshorten it a little bit later. This, we're going to have the leg up. So to lift your leg up or your arm up, if his arms were straight down like this, it's just a cylinder, just a cylinder like this. And you need to practice that like all the time. So if I took that cylinder, okay, we'll do this. I took that cylinder and I lifted it up to you. It's going to get shorter, and you're going to see more of the opening. So that's all that is. So if you are lifting this arm up, now lift this arm up. It's going to get shorter, and you're going to see more of the opening. Now, that depends on how short you make these two lines and how much you see of the opening. Because if I did this guy right here, this arm is like all the way pointed toward me. So if I did a hand and a gun, it would be pointed toward me. And all you saw was that little piece of cylinder, or that little piece of like that. The more you raise it, the less of this you're going to see. So if I brought his leg up, depending on how much you want to bring the leg up, so the back part, of course, you're going to have this. You're going to got to have room for this. So you're going to bring this. Let's just say this is my back circle. Back circle, front circle. Okay, back circle, front circle. And then my front circle is going to be right here. That tells you how much I brought that leg up by how far this is from that. And of course, you know, the thigh is fat. Going to my example, you're going to have a fatter part here than you do here. So if you lift that leg up like that, and see the lines kind of confuse you, but it depends on how much you want to bring that leg up. Is it just going to be straight on at you like that? Or you're going to see a little bit of thigh? Is it going to be out, up? So yeah, that, in your mind, you're going to have to do that. And it would be good if you got some kind of reference figure. This is $89. Anyway, I bought another one of these. That's why I wrote all up on this one. I bought another one of these. $89 or $98. I think it's $89 on Amazon. Spend money on yourself. Christmas is over. If I had caught you before Christmas, I would have told you to tell your parents or whoever, or your wife or whoever, brother-in-law, somebody that had extra money, buy you this thing on Amazon so that you can have a good reference. But any kind of toy will do, because you can basically, I don't even want to touch this guy because he's going to fall apart. You can basically pose your, in whatever position you want. And then you have, your rough outline position. And then you come back later and put your muscles in. But any kind of figure that's posable would do for your basic roughs. Putting him back. All right, so this leg is going to come down, and we're going to have my knee, but the knee is going to be kind of like under it. And I'll come back with a little quicker rough. So the knee, your leg, you're going to have the room for your junk. So your leg is going to shape like this. And that's going to be this inner part right here. Right there. And then you're going to have that muscle that comes around and then hooks up under that knee. Or goes up against that knee. And then you may see part of your calf. You may not. Because it's tucked under that leg. And then you have your foot. Like so. And the way I draw feet is basically, it's okay, you have your heel. I do like this, and then just kind of like a what is that shape? I don't know, kind of like that. And then if I put a leg there, it becomes a foot. Now, one side is going to be wider than the other side because your feet are, how's your feet like that? Your feet are like this. This instep here goes out. So you want to put one side out more than the other side. And just square, because if you're wearing shoes, it's going to be like that. Like so. So let's do this other arm. So we got this here. We've got this coming back. And because it's going back, you're going to see the open of this part of the cylinder, and this part is going to be closed. If you will reverse it, then let's reverse it. If I'm going to reverse it, then I'm going to see the open part of this cylinder and the back of that cylinder. And that's how you bring your arms forward and backwards. So if I reverse this, his elbow is going to be back here and his fist is going to be like right there. So I'm going to reverse it again because this is his bicep. So delt, and it's going backwards. So we reverse it, and you can see how the example, let's do this. I don't like drawing on my paper. This is my delt. This is me reversing it, which is going to be this forearm now, and it's going to be his fist right here. Just because I reversed it like that, turn is my delt. This is going to be here, and I reversed it here, which looks like it's going back. So now I'd have to put the other arm there, and then coming forward, you would see the opening, and then there's a fist. But going backwards, you would not see the opening. You would see the closing part of it, and then the fist would be back here like that. So it's just where you seeing the opening of that circle tells you if something is going, if this cylinder is going backwards or forwards. I mean, that's a simple thing to remember. But nobody teaches you that stuff except Brian. All right, so this is the bicep again. And then I'm going to have this part here come up. And then you choose your angle. I mean, you can have it come way up and the fist is going to be up here. You can have it go down and the fist is going to be there. But you have more of a powerful, the higher you raise something, well, not all the way, you can have his hands up. The more power you're going to give something. But yeah, I chose to have it go straight out like that versus up or down. So this is his bicep, and whenever you turn your bicep, if my arm is like this, and I turn my arm in, that bicep is going to go up. The bicep is going to go up, and it splits, and I should have done that. Where's my pen? I'll show you. Brian, you writing all on that expensive toy. Yeah, but it is, well, number one, it's not a toy, but it is to help you guys to learn. Sometimes you have to sacrifice. Let's see. Your bicep, and this is a tour right here. I don't know if you can see that, but your bicep and your tricep right there, it separates. Yeah, I did this one. I think I was only going to do one side, but your bicep and your tricep separate. So anytime you lift your arm up, that bicep is going to come up too. I appreciate you writing all over your expensive figure. No problem. That's what I do. That's what a teacher does. So yeah, so that bicep is going to come up. Well, let me get my shape first. And then, I mean, I could have the fist. I could have this. I'm going to use a pencil because it might be a little easier to erase. I can have this coming out the way I have it here. I could have it going up. And this is the thing about, you can take one position and make numerous positions out of it. Take this and I have the fist going like that. I could have the fist like right here. And then just have a shortened forearm. So I'll take that one off later. Right there, and then there's your bicep. You can have the thing coming down like this. It's just so many different positions you can take, you can do. Once you get that torso there, then the arms and legs is what makes it. Is what makes it, or what makes it? It makes it. Okay, so yeah, your position. Because I can have this leg out more, this leg straight down. I could have this leg straight down and this leg up. So once you get that torso, you got it. You locked in there. And I did a video, maybe if I can remember it at the end, I will leave it, to where I took one position and I made like, I don't know, I think it was like 30 some positions out of that one position just by changing one leg, the other leg, the one arm, the other arm, you know, and the torso stayed, you know, where it's supposed to be. If I can remember, I'll leave that in the below. So okay, here's my bicep, and then I had this going straight across. Draw your straight line first before you do your muscles, and then my hand like that, pretty much. So this one right here, we're doing like I showed you with the leg. You have your delts. This comes right up to the delt. Your delts are like three heads in your delt. You have 3 heads. You know, your back, your middle, and your front. So what we're doing here is we are going to take this arm and we're going to lift this arm up and we're going to twist this in. How do I have this? It's going to be down. So what you're going to see is you're not going to see all of this bicep. You're just going to see a little bit of this bicep as it disappears. So by doing that, we're just doing, flip you over. We have this. We have the delt, which is always going to be there. Delt's always going to be there. You're just doing this a circle right here, because this thing is coming all the way up here. You might see just a little bit of the top. So if I did that, so like this would be the end of that circle right here, and we're just seeing this. And then we're going to do that other arm, which is straight across, which is just a point. So an easy way to do arms are, if this is my torso, here's my chest, stomach, you're always going to have these connected. These are always going to connect. These are, just think of these as a ball. This is the circle or circle, oval, and triangle. That's an arm. I was hiccuping for a second and then cut it off like that. So if you can connect these 3 in any direction, circle, oval, triangle, then you can draw arms in any position. And remember I said cut this off, put your hand however you want to put your hand, like that, and then just round that stuff off. Round that baby off, man. Round that baby off here, like that. Your bicep is going to be back here behind it, bicep, tricep, and then your delt. So your delt comes like that, and this goes all the way, and then there's your thing, and then here is your hand. goofy looking hand, but you get the point. Yeah, so those three shapes, this circle, oval, and long triangle, and cut it off at your wrist. Just try to picture those three shapes in your head, and that's why I say in the beginning, I used to always get on people about doing your shapes. If your shapes are not right, then your picture's not going to be right. So your oval, your circle, your oval, which is going to be leaning towards you more. I think I had this guy that's coming out. I'm not trying to draw this exact. Your circle, oval, and then your triangle. Like that, and then cut it off at the wrist, and then you have that arm that's bent. Then later on you come along, I'll do it in red, and then define it, and then your fists. And this is a really tight drawing, so yeah, because I'm going slow, so it's kind of tight. So your chest, and this is why I did the stomach. I did the stomach because it might cover it. See, this is up high and this is a little lower, but that's okay. That's okay. It's the steps to get here. Now, if you notice the muscles in the arm, this twist, because I showed you in my last video, or video before, that this part of the arm has two bones in it. You have a bone here and you have a bone there. And whenever you twist it, those bones go across each other. So this is why you get that. Where's my arm? This is why you get that little line here. That's your bone crossing over. So anytime you have a character, do that. Muscular character, you're gonna have this like this, and it's gonna come like that. Those are those two bones. Elbow, and then you have your back of your arm like that. And this muscle comes up. You have your bicep. Let's do this. Let's start putting this detail in here. Delt, which comes across the body, and I'll show you, it comes across the chest. It comes into the chest. I told you don't put it into the chest before, but this is a side view. This is a point, because this is your bicep and this is your tricep. Only when you do that kind of position where you lay down. Your bicep is here, your tricep is back here, and this muscle right here comes all the way up and separates your bicep and your tricep. And then here's your elbow right there. So showing you this, as I said, I'm going to use this guy a lot. Your tricep is the biggest part of your arm. If you want to get big arms, work on your tricep. This is your bicep. This little piece right here is your bicep. That's all your bicep. That's all you got. So if you want a thick arm, work on that tricep. But this muscle here, it twists around and it goes toward the thumb. It goes all the way in toward the thumb, but then it goes up and it's between your bicep and tricep. And this is like, you know, serious bodybuilder kind of to separate these, because that's a whole muscle on its own. You'd have to work that muscle just alone. So just remember that. And then you, as I say, once you do this, you have these little striation muscles. I'm trying to get it where I can see it in my monitor that come. A bunch of these that come from under here and go around. So if you have this, they're going to come like from under here and go around. Don't put like 1,000, just put a couple of them there. But that's if you're trying to do somebody really muscular. Okay, so we got this. Let's get rid of this and we'll work on this. So we've got that. And one thing I was saying is my mouse, I just bought that mouse. Your delts come like this, but they are angled. They are angled. They come here and they are angled, and then your delt is here, so your chest is like that, and your arm comes out from under it. So you always angle it, and then because that there's a little muscle right here that kind of cuts across the chest when you get really muscular, but it comes out at this angle kind of like that. Where's my pen? You have your this, and it stops right here, and it curves around and actually goes behind your back and then forms your shoulder blade. But it's right here, and then your delts are going to come here in and actually curve up like that. So they kind of like leave that little dip in your chest for muscular people. And then your arm is going to come right out here and here. Remember this point Because if you draw it from the side, it's going to look like this, kind of like that. Here's your bicep, here's your tricep, and there's that piece in the middle. So right here, so your tricep is going to be back here somewhere. This is going to come into a point, and then you're going to have, remember those two bones? You're going to have something like that. And it goes toward the thumb, like that. Yeah, I think that's all I was going to say on that. Let me get my mouse. Every time you drop a mouse, it tends to break, but it hit carpet, so. All right, work on this thing. I got the red pencil here. Goes into the collarbone. Your collarbone, your delt goes way behind your back. If you look at your delt like this, if you turn it up, you see how far that delt goes way back here behind your back, and then this is your collarbone. I'm gonna stop with the anatomy lessons, but your delt is, all of this is your delt. It's 1, 2, 3 muscles. So your delt goes way back here, and your collarbone actually comes up here, and it curves around, and it drops down to form your collarbone. Yeah, all this I had to learn on my own. I didn't take classes for this stuff. So neck is going to come down. You still have this part of the shoulder. And this part of the shoulder, your neck curves in, and you have this curve right here. Because that is your traps. And then you have this little dip right here from this and this. This is a mountain that goes like that. Same thing here. You have that little dip, and then your collarbone, shoulder, this, bicep, tricep, and then this. I have that hand. That hand is tilted down and curves around. Straight, curve, and then back. This hand is from the side, but you're going to see the curve of the finger. So you're going to have this one knuckle, second one comes down, third one down, and the fourth one in, and it bends in, and you have your palm. Now you're going to see more finger there. And am I going to ink this? As I said, I'm going to turn this into somebody, some generic looking character pencil. This is why I use 3 colors. You use too much red, you use too much blue, you go for pencil, and then you just, yeah, that's your third color. Your third option. So this, I can't do this. This, your pinky finger, when you turn it over, it just tucks up under this part of the palm right here. So if I can twist it like this, you're seeing more like the fist, more kind of like this. So you're going to see this finger curves in, this finger curves out, this finger curves out more, and this finger just disappears pretty much completely almost. But you're going to have, how is it? It's going to come in like this and curve in, and then tucks in, and your palm is tucking in your palm comes like that. So you have these little bends in your fingers. You're going to have these little bends, and your other one is going to come, it's going to come in, it's going to come out. This one's going to come out more, and like I said, this one is going to just disappear, period. So that's how you do the back of the hand. And then of course you're going to have your the back of the hand, the side, the inside of your hand. Outside, would that be the outside or the inside? I don't know. Yeah, so basically that's what you're doing. And if you see this one at all, and then you have your wrist. And that's just, you know, a little long right there, but yeah, it's for starters. So we have this one, this fist right here. So we're going to have your palm. Your thumb is going to come across here from your palm. your thumb, and it's going to curve down. And suddenly I am hungry. I don't know why. So you're going to have one finger come in. Everything is like on a curve. This is on a curve, and even the insides are on a curve. You're going to have one finger come in, the other one comes in, other, and then your third one. So they're all going to curve in. They're going to stop here and then curve in like that. And the thumb curves in, and you have that palm. This is why I don't use a pencil, because of the glare. I can't see. I cannot see. But that's your starting point, and you just have to kind of like rough it. It's a little long. It's a little long for me, but I'm gonna change it in the wash. Not with this pencil though. So you have this. And hand placements are really important when you do your characters. If you want more power, you got to have a good hand placement. Or you lose something. Same way if you do a fist, if you do an arm and you do a fist like this, and just say he's standing, give me a standing guy. Or you do another arm, let's just do that, and you do your fist bent down. That looks more powerful when your fist is like this, but when you bend it down, it gives you a little more power to it. All right, another thing is if you dress a character, if you start out with a drawing and you are just dying on these muscles, oh, I can't get this muscle right, I can't get this muscle right, it's not going to look good when I put clothes on him. When you put clothes on him, your character is going to, you're not going to see the muscles unless he's shirtless or something like that. But if he's has clothes on, unless you're doing like the black and white kind of, and I got to get the muscles right kind of thing. But most times if you're putting regular clothes, street clothes on a character or something that's not like skin tight, you don't have to worry about all these muscles. So I don't know what I'm going to put on them, but I'm going to finish this foot. And it was supposed to be kind of going backwards. So let's do this. Let's see if I can get it to go backwards. And the way you get something to go back is, this is why I have two of these, and is this one's going straight. If I'm going backwards, notice how this part is going behind this part, or this part is behind this part. So you're going to take some of your leg or your foot or your whatever, and then put it behind here. So if my knee is here and this is kind of like going backwards, I'm going to bring this way up here. I'm going to bring this calf way up here and then shorten it to give it that it's going behind look. Because if I took this and did like that, you see it's way behind it. But even if I bent it, how would I have bent that? So this would be like this, and I bent this. This is at the wrong camera angle. And it's hard for me to see what the heck I'm doing with this. But anyway, if you bent it, it's going to bring this back part is going to come up. Now you can't see. This back part is going to come way up here into the leg. Just trust me on that. Let's see if I can get with this guy. That's what I got it for, Brian. This is what you got this for. So trying to get this angle where you can see this same thing. So straight, going behind, it's going to get shorter. But if I bend it, you notice how this calf is way down here. Calf is going to go way up into this leg here. So it gives you that behind and bent kind of look. So, and of course, you know your knee bends. So you're going to put that calf way up here, and it's going to be shortened and gets a little smaller. And then you put your foot. You might see some of the heel depending on the angle of your foot. And then you do that like that. So you may see some of the heel, you may not. Make the foot a little longer. Size 12s. And then you have something that looks like it's going behind that. Of course, you have your shin. No, that's on the inside. Your shin that goes to your ankle. And I would really actually shorten this up a little bit more, but one muscle, this other muscle comes into this V. This is like that, so this forms that muscle there, and then you have this. I don't like that hand, but I'll fix it in the wash because I don't know what I might put a sword or something in the guy's hand. So we have that. Okay, my neck. Something I want to show you about your neck. You have your two muscles that form your neck, and your trap comes up and behind your neck. So your neck just comes down. It's this little skinny. Basically, it's just these little two muscles slapped on the back of your traps, and your traps are these. Your shoulders, actually called your trapezius muscles, and they go all the way down. This is all your traps here, all of this back there. And as I said in another video, survey said that the most liked part, most female liked part on a man was your shoulders, So if you want to do, you want to look good to the ladies, fellas, then you need to do some shoulder work on these traps right there, and then work on these triceps. So yeah, that goes back behind the neck like that. So I'm going to have him looking this way. So I'm going to put my line there. This line is going to go straight with the face. This neck is going to go straight up against that chin or that jaw, side of the face. Get it right, Brian. There, and then up, and then put your sides of the hair that you want. So you have all your necessary muscles. This is going to come in and then turn and go there, that you need for drawing. So this is going to be right here, and this is going to split. It's going to that Y, or that V is going to be that V. And you have this side of the leg. This one is higher. No, this one is higher than the inside. But don't worry about it. Just bring them both together. Bring them both down together. That way you don't have to stress over it. Nobody's going to question, oh, his whatever muscle is higher than the other muscle. I don't like this. I don't like this, and I don't like that. So I'm going to speed this part up because this is just not worth me explaining again. I'm just going to redo it. All right. Should make that hand a little bigger. So now we have this. I don't want that head is tilted. It's cocked over too far. And this is just being picky now. So I'm going to bring that head up a little bit more. More like that. Still keep that neck right here. The ear, if he has an ear, on the side. I don't know where the eye would go, right about there. That Boba Fett mask. So this is going to be the bottom of his chin. And see this in red. And this is how I used to do faces all the time. I use these guidelines like this. Chin. And the other guideline here. Put my eyes there. If you had enough, you put a little chin right there. And this is kind of like, and when I saw Boba Fett mask, I was like, oh, that's how they got that. And now what is The Mandalorian, which I really wish I had Disney streaming, maybe one day. But that's a great reference and guide to drawing a face. Have this. Your eyes, and remember, wherever this bends at, this is where your mouth is going to go. And then your nose is just going to be just a little over top of that. And then you can adjust your chin, or you can bring your nose up and bring your mouth up, because it's round, it's not straight. So when you make it round, it's going to lift up a little bit more. So then your nose, maybe some shadow on the nose, and then you come up, and there's your brow right there, because this one piece like this is just kind of like one piece, and then your face dips in here, comes out here because of your cheekbone, and then curves in, and your eye is right in here. Now the only hard part is getting this one to match up with that one, and that's always been my hard part, is to get this eye to match up with that eye. But your face, for a face, you gotta have your guidelines. Here's your face, here's your head, here's your nose, here's your mouth, and your eye, and your eye. So if you take your nose straight up, one eye should fit in between that. So your nose should be one eye long. unless you're doing some crazy, weird kind of character. This is just standard, beautiful face, one eye long. It's supposed to be 5 eyes wide, really. So if you had to just measure here, and then if you take this straight down, I think your chin is like the center part of your chin is there too. And then when you go up, when you take your mouth all the way over, your jawbone turns up right there. If you take the center line down your eye, this is as wide as your mouth is. And of course, you know, the top of the eyes, the bottom of your nose is your ear. And if you didn't know, now you know. So if I had to draw this beautiful, perfect face with my sorry pen, which is just running out of ink. And of course, you have this little philtrum, I believe what it's called, and it shapes the mouth. He's so evil looking. And yeah, as I say, you have, where does that come in? This comes out and in for that jawbone. This goes up, but you want to take some more behind the head like that. So this is going to come up, and that's kind of your temple, sucks in like that. And then you bring your neck straight down if you want a more powerful man type. And when you do your eyes, if these are your eyes, don't have your eyes touching the bottom. Don't have them like this, because they look like they're looking up. So if you're drawing your eye, always have your eye touch the bottom at least, or get really close to the bottom. That way it looks like it's looking at you. He, the character, whatever, is looking at you. And then you have your light source, because your eye is always wet. That's why you blink constantly, to keep your eyes wet. And then you have your, I'm gonna look this up, the iris or the pupil, one of them, and that's always black. And I covered this in one of my other videos doing faces, realistic faces. And then because the side of your face is like this, and your nose comes out here. So this is your eye. So you're gonna have, this covers your eye, this, and it's supposed to be your eyelashes. So basically it keeps the sun out of your eye because it's shaped like that. Your brow is shaped like that, and then your mouth, chin. So you're gonna have a shadow right here because number one, your eye is tucked back in the back of your head, in your face. So you're gonna have a shadow there. And what I do is I darken this piece here, or I make this line right here thicker at the top and just thin at the bottom. And then you have an eye. And then you can do your little speckles if you choose to. Not having everyone go, you know, touching the black part. Is it the cornea? I don't know, whatever. So yeah, and I will, anytime up here, I'll have them a little more like pronounced, darker. And it goes out to the light, and I'll have them lesser. And then you have that fold of that skin. When you blink your eyes, you have that little fold. And then I have your eyebrow. Yeah. This wasn't an eye lesson, but this is what I do sometimes. So yeah, and I was using the red pen, and as I say, my other eye is always crooked. So what I try to do is I try to go straight up at the nose, and this is where all that was coming from. Straight up, and then I start my eye, trying to keep it on that line, but my lines are always crooked, which makes my eyes placements crooked as well, or too big. So anyway, but I'm gonna leave it like that because this is gonna be the center of the eye, which is gonna be the mouth, which is gonna be round. The bottom lip like that. That's crooked, but you know, it's all good. Open this eye up a little more. And I think I started with looking at anime because my eyes are always big when, you know, the Western style eyes are really not that big, or not that open anyway. Unless you're doing a female. How long is this thing? 55 minutes and 47 seconds. I don't think I had one cut. I think I may have one cut somewhere in there. Anyway, I'm going to pause it, figure out some kind of costume. come back, throw the costume on him. Probably not fast motion, but I'm just going to do some generic crazy costume, and then we'll call this a video. So as soon as I fix his head, give it a little bigger, more meat. Remember, it's going to go behind the ear, because the cranium is shaped like this. Here's your head, and I draw square. That's how you started drawing profiles. Square and a plus symbol. So this halfway is going to be my face. This other half just below that is going to be the skull cranium part. So it's going to look like this. This is my face. Oh, this is my head shape. Like that. And then I put my nose here. And that's how I used to start it with that. But just remember, as I said, you have this little dip here. So you're going to have this kind of like going behind the ear. So whenever you're doing the head, don't have the ear sitting on the side like that. Bring some head behind it. Like that. All right, so I'm going to cut this and I'm going to go eat breakfast and I'm going to think about what I'm going to do. Yes, it's first thing in the morning. And then I will come back and I will dress this guy, probably just the standard Brian universe with belts and straps and kind of like that. Yeah. So, all right. One split second for you, an hour for me. And I am back. So before we go on any further, I want to talk about positions, because somebody wrote me a while back and asked me, could they use one of my positions from my book? Let me get a book. Five, four, three, two, one. So I told them, yes, you can, because nobody has the rights to any position. Nobody owns a position. If that were the case, you wouldn't be able to do anything, because people would be grabbing every position. You can use any position you choose, any position you see. You can redraw somebody's position, but you just have to be careful. Like if you take a Wolverine position and draw that like inch by inch, then then people will say, oh, that's Wolverine. So you just got to kind of like be careful of what you do. Change it a little bit. That's why I was saying about once you get your torso down, once you get your torso locked down, then you're good to go. You can change something slightly and it will become yours, shall we say. So for instance, let's do a position real quick, just some off the cuff position. I'm just trying to see a position. Okay, so I'll just come up with a position real quick. So let's just say this was a position. I got my torso locked in, and let's just say it's flying. Okay, let's just say this cat is flying. Okay, that's a position. I like that position, but I don't want to use that same position because it's too well known. So arms and legs are easy. That's the easy part. You can easily bring one arm up here, or bring one part of the arm up here. And it can be flying like that. You can bend one leg down to come up. There's just so many things you can do to change these positions. You can have the hands down, maybe like he's blasting something, and well, let's just say put the circle here, like he stopped in midair and is blasting something. So there are so many things you can do. And the torso, as I said, the torso is locked in. Once you get that torso locked in and right and balanced, then there's so many positions you can use or you can change with that one position. So if I just real quick. Just bring that head forward a little bit, make him look down because he's up in the air. He's flying up in the air looking at something. So yeah, it's just there's from that one position where he was flying with the arms bent, you just change it around. You can have a number of positions. You can have one arm down, one arm up. You know, both legs apart, both legs together, both legs bent. There's just so many that you can create from just that one position. So work on these cylinders that I'm showing you. And that goes for the arms and legs. Remember, circle, oval, and triangle. And that's basically kind of the same thing for your legs too, except this is going to be fatter here. And then it's going to be a triangle there, and your foot is down here. Same thing. Drawing is simple once you learn how to simplify it. So, okay, well, we're just going to put something on this guy, some belts and some something and some something. I should use a separate color pencil, but I'm going to just use a pencil itself, just because. So we'll put some nice big wristbands on the guy, and since his arms is going back, we're going to keep that wristband round like that. Remember, this the whole body is round, so don't just do a straight line. Same thing here, wristband, wristband. Of course, you got to have that belt. Let's get a little around his neck. Let's just put a band around his neck. Why not? I don't know why not. Superhero type. Let's give him just some short boots with a band. You won't see that one. Put a little stripe on his foot. Get a second set of around there, and maybe put a symbol or something there. Let's give him something around his shoulders, some like bands around his shoulders. And this you have to be careful because this shape is shaped like this, so you have to come down and then around. You have to give everything shape depending on what it is. I mean, if it's just part of the cloth or if it's some kind of metal or something, but you have, if it's wrapping around, it's got to go around the guy. Everybody has symbols, so you want to give them some shorts. Let's just because, go ahead and give them some shorts. You won't see that because there's the leg. Get some stripes on the side of the shorts. Maybe, okay, that's the belt. Let's give them just like a diamond kind of thing right there. Diamond, that's a triangle right there. And let's put some buckle on the belt. Something over here. Some add-ons. Maybe some stripes, smaller stripes down the side. And you would see some of this going to the knee. Oh, that stripe on the foot. And I'm just coming up with stuff. I could put stripe down his arm. Since he's got that little triangle here, let's put one here. Kind of balance. Let's take it down to here. It's Geometric Man. Geometric Man. Is there such a thing as a Geometric Man out there? I don't know, but he's here now. I'll put another, just adding more detail. So if I ever colored it, you could get those colors that look good on it. So stomach is going there. Geometric Man. What does he do? I don't know. He makes shapes from no shapes. Let's put it on his bracelet. Bracelet, gauntlets. Geometric Man. Just because, so you won't see that there, but let's just do this. This is how you take them on and off. Put them on and off. Geometric Man is going to have a geometric shape mask. People are like, no, don't you do that. Yes, I'm going to do that. So it's going to be like this. And it's going to have this diamond right there. Diamond. That is a triangle, Brian. Get it together. Get it together. He's Geometric Man. Just because. And that didn't come out too bad. I thought that was going to be kind of like tacky, but no. You're gonna give him some hair. I'm not gonna mess with the hair. And I would say, there you go with this character. I'm gonna ink him in fast motion, just because I have a lot of lines there. Why not? Okay, fast motion. Let's begin. All right, there you have it, Geometric Man. As I said, I don't know if there is such a thing as a Geometric Man, but if not, you just saw him be created. You just saw him get created. So anyway, from this, their actual one to this. I mean, you know, they've changed a little bit. I mean, you know, it's changed a little bit because I don't think too many people can draw something over and over again the same way, but it's close enough. But showing you how to draw from this to that and then turn it into some kind of, you know, just little character. And so whenever I do this, I'll turn it into some kind of, you know, it won't be an S-class hero. He'll be like a A-ranked hero. You know, it won't be no Saitama, but I mean, it will be a hero. So that's going to be it for this. And I don't know if anything that I missed. If I didn't miss anything, like to tell you guys, let's bring this back, bro. Bring it back. Then I'll let you guys know in the next video. Let's get this on screen. Maybe I have to pull back a little bit. Let me pull back just an inch or two. So yeah, I guess that's going to be it for this. Who knows? I may color it one day. I may, you know, I could add like black into the interior of it to kind of balance it, give them, you know, some good color to it. But too long in the video. So I guess I'm finished saying what I have to say because I'm going to start rambling. And oh yeah, which I always forget to say, if you are liking these videos, sorry, hiccuping, then first of all, leave a thumbs up. Please leave a thumbs up. I get maybe a couple hundred people viewing and maybe like 20, you know, likes or something. So just, you know, take a second and just give me a like so YouTube will know that people are liking what I'm doing. And subscribe if you haven't, and if you are subscribed and you have a friend, please tell a friend. And this is what I went to get the book for. I forgot to tell you about the book and positions. I'm sorry, I'm rambled, but I forgot. This book was done so that you can take a position and then twist it around, because that's some of the things professional artists they say they're having a hard time trying to think of a new position. So I've done this book so that you can take, you know, these existing positions and then turn them around a little bit or tweak them a little bit. But I've showed you how to do the arms, move the arms and so forth. And yeah, this book has got just, you know, numbers of positions that are turned around so you can use it, because you might want this position, but you might want it at an angle. And it shows you, you know, how to use that angle. And it got a bunch of these. And in the back, I have my lessons that I've done. So if you see something that you like, a position that you like, these are the lessons that I've already done on YouTube, and you can just go in this action pose position, arms, most of them are numbered. How to draw female, yeah, how to draw female legs. So you just go on my channel and then you look in, you know, my thing, and you know how to draw female arms, or, you know, it tells you the title of the thing, action pose position 13, you know. So yeah, this is a book, Amazon, action pose positions 360, because I get a little 360 view of the characters spinning around. So yeah, that and a couple other books, but yeah, Amazon. So that's gonna be it. I'm not gonna ramble. I'm just gonna show you this, and it's probably gonna be a thumbnail, good thumbnail, if it comes out on camera. Anyway, see you guys. Thanks for watching and staying with me. All you guys have been with me for a long time. You're writing me, telling me, you know, you've been with me for a while. Thank you for that. And I'm back to teaching. So you guys wanted to learn, I'm back to teaching. No more showing off every now and then. but mostly teaching. All right, see you guys later.